And that's exactly why euthanize.
This is
With
just
fire.
another fun thing, and that's Jim, and I'm Elliot.
Well, honest to God, if I could euthanize Jim, I totally would.
Okay, you're, huh?
So,
All
what
right.
are we talking about today?
Feminist frequency ruined my date the other day in the best way possible. It's
Best
just a
way.
random.
That's
It's a Twitter thread.
Mm.
The guy looks pretty damn pathetic. Met this woman on Hinge and we hit it off.
Oh, no, he's not.
He's not on Hinge?
No, he doesn't look pathetic. Come on. He looks like a normal human being. Come on.
normal human beings are pathetic.
Well,
He's
says you.
still got all his teeth.
Oh.
She is a music teacher and I love music and work with kids
Oh.
myself. We seem to be getting along well. I asked her out. We were going to the nature center, but the weather turned. So we hit the local video arcade with vintage games. That's not
Okay.
too bad. I like playing me some Galaga on a date.
Mm.
Yay.
We had a good time. It wasn't earth-shattering, but good enough to merit a second date. We decided to get ice cream after work one day. We got our ice cream
And
and walked.
hookers.
Huh?
You said ice cream and hookers.
Yes, and hookers. And walked around town and talked for about an hour. The plaza we were in had a movie theater in it that we both frequent, so naturally TV came up. TV and movies. She mentioned Frasier, and I told her I often rewatch Cheers and Frasier, and that I love old shows, especially Cheers.
Oh, hell, she sounds like a keeper. Oh.
I began to talk about a specific episode of Cheers, my favorite episode, which one of Sam's baseball buddies writes a book and comes out as gay in it. Sam openly supports him, and the men at the bar became concerned that the bar will become a gay bar. Diane challenges them and says that the gay men come in the bar all the time, but they just don't know it. The men are adamant that they would know a gay guy if they saw one. She tells them that there are two gay men in the bar right now, and if they can tell her who they are, she'll be quiet. The men go and make complete fools of themselves using outdated, even for the time, stereotypes of gay men to try and determine who it is. And they are proven wrong in the end. It was a powerful social commentary. It was a sitcom.
Yay, we're getting all our social commentary through a sitcom. And let's see. This is people say, "Oh, the world's gotten so much worse." Cheers is what 80s, 90s.
No. If you're gonna make anything a commentary, you should do Married with Children.
That is a social commentary.
That is absolutely a social commentary.
But Cheers took place in the 80s, 90s, and people
And
are
it was
still.
just tame as fuck.
I gave birth to when I was giving birth. My children, when I was giving birth, my children were born to fucking Married with Children. I swear to. Oh,
awesome!
Wasn't it? It was super awesome. And honestly, I don't have any problem with that. I don't have any problem. I do not care about no ma'am. I don't care about any of the shit that was put upon in Married with Children. I think that is probably the best thing we can have.
Anthrax is on Married with Children, therefore it sucks. Continue.
It's still relevant today, almost 30 years
Absolutely.
later.
Yes. I grew up with Married with Children.
Well, he was talking about that Cheers episode.
Oh, no. I grew up with Cheers too.
Right for the Indians.
And that's what I went to sleep to because it bored me to sleep.
No.
Cheers. Cheers bored me to sleep. Frasier was actually interesting at times. Cheers, I could never get into.
I like Frasier. Frasier was okay.
Yay.
My date was not interested in it as I was, so I explained that because I watched Feminist Frequency and the Tropes versus Women videos as they came out and I was in college, I developed a critical eye using feminist critique, and that's why I like that episode so much.
Why?
Because everything has to be a fucking... The show is not conducive to
name another episode.
I feel bad for this boy already.
Everyone, this show is not conducive for like living a headache-free life. If you want to live a headache-free life, I suggest not doing this show. I made my bed.
Yes, don't do what we do. We are absolutely shit. Don't do us. Do not do shit.
Although, if you're watching, keep watching. You're trapped now, motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Enjoy the torment.
Enjoy the torment.
We're happy to have you.
She then asked me if viewing movies and TV that way ruined it for me.
No.
Probably.
And it probably does for him. Because he can remember one episode of a TV show.
He seems like proselytizing.
When I was ultra political, right, I couldn't watch anything and like enjoy it because I always had to pick out the political issues and blah blah blah. That was as miserable as you think. So yeah, watching it that way did ruin it for me. Once I eased up and was just like, yeah, whatever, let's have fun, then it was different than that. Fuck it, I left my place. Where am I?
It was an odd question, one that I know is lobbed at the women in Feminist Frequency constantly. When I told her that it didn't ruin it, just made me view it differently, she was not about it.
No. What?
I'm going to sit here and proselytize that one TV show, that one episode was like so awesome because it featured such a brilliant social commentary.
No.
I mean, I get it. It's whatever.
The problem here is that you're enjoying a TV show and you're trying to let somebody else enjoy it through you, and they don't get it, and that's okay.
That's great if you this whole...
God, do you know how many links she sends me that I just don't get? And I'm certain I send a shitload to her that she doesn't get.
You send me shit that I don't get, Jim.
Jim sends a shit ton to me that I don't get.
Or he'll send something to me, he'll be like, I want to cover it on the show, and I'm like, I'm trying to care. I'm trying really hard to care.
Right. Well, I try, but I can't.
Now, this is pretty much just cramming down. This means a lot to me down your throat, and if it doesn't mean anything to you, then go away. God.
Whereas with Jim, it's like, this means a lot to me. It doesn't mean anything to you. Make fun of me for it.
Right. Well,
yeah, exactly.
Even if no one cares, I know that both of you guys are okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with that.
You go ahead and enjoy your fruity girly things whenever.
I am perfectly fine doing what I want to do, and you guys are perfectly fine letting me do what I want to do. So,
what's the name of that one TV show you got me into?
Oh God, I don't know. The one
with the Yakuza that got the sex operation and
the Goofy Dolls, the Backstreet Idols.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, those are great.
That's like so hardcore because they drew the chicks at it like ultra fucking cutie pie, fucking hot kind of thing, like you would your normal teen idols singing shitty pop.
Mm.
But
I like their songs though.
but they used to be Yakuza, hardcore. Like they'd shoot a man in the head and
Oh, yes, yes,
their
yes.
asses with his nose as he's dying, so his last breath is there is shit, and just not give two rats asses. It was another Tuesday for them, and now they have to be teen idols.
How many times have I sent you, Jim, random quotes from random shit I'm reading because I think they might interest you? Like, oh, here's the guy from Repulsion got into the drumming thing because they saw an article about that kid we met like one time. Apparently, he got arrested for robbing a grave. Let's ask him to join our band. I mean, that is So I bombard you with things like that because I'm an asshole.
Sometimes I read them. Sometimes I'm like, I'm not in the mood.
Yeah,
I'm honestly not feeling this person that you're reading on Twitter here. It seems like they're being way too nice guy.
Yeah, I gotta be the nice guy.
I don't know anything about the Fem Frec at Fem Frequency or whatever. I don't know anything about that because I am not a Twitter person. Sorry.
I know a little bit
Feminist
about
frequency.
It,
that's what it is.
I'm not a big fan of that because I have no idea what the hell it means.
It's just I don't know.
It's just a chick saying this is what's wrong with video games. It's bad that women.
Well, I should probably go read that, shouldn't I? Gosh.
Half the chicks that you tell me you love playing in video games are
playing...
vile and nasty according to feminist frequency because they objectify the body and blah blah blah.
And
if I'm gonna save the world, I want to be a sexy ass chick. That's all I know. Okay.
Would you dress in a bikini?
Fuck yes, I would absolutely.
Awesome.
I want to be sexy. If I'm going to save the world, I want to do something that makes me feel strong and empowered. I'm all over that.
So basically, it's a thing, and this guy just follows every word of it.
Okay, I mentioned some of the topics of the tropes versus women videos, not even daring to go into the other amazing things these women do with that organization.
Amazing, yeah.
And she was getting and she was getting visibly frustrated.
I mean, if that's what you're into, then fine, but don't expect other people to share your shit.
I didn't even tell the content, just the topic. I was trying not to force my opinion. But you kind of you kept going political.
Hey, but isn't this a man telling a woman how to think?
I'm sorry. Feminist frequency is having Anita Sarkeesian on the group, and I just cannot. I cannot be beyond that. I'm sorry.
Jim, isn't this guy basically telling her how to think?
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
At one point, I said something like, it depends upon the context of the game. If you have a war game and a woman is running around in a bikini shooting guns, does that really make sense?
Yes, it does, god damn it.
She said something like, well, was the character designed to be arousing? Perfectly logical question.
Yes.
So this girl actually has brains.
Oh.
Yeah. Even if you don't like it, who cares? You get turned on by it, fine. Look at the massive bulge in his pants.
As he shoots people.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
My testicles flap in the wind for justice. Bam, 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 bam.
They do not. They do not. You know that.
He's shooting bullets out of his testicles.
No, he's not.
But I want to.
I know you want to. Come on, keep reading.
It was going badly for both of us. This was a huge philosophical difference, yes, but also an intellectual difference.
Yeah, she's the smart one.
Yeah.
Keep reading.
We thought of the world in drastically different ways. There was a point in our conversation she was mid-sentence and just stopped and said, okay. Realizing it's not going to work because it's just going to be frustrating from here on out.
Well,
I usually do that if I feel a point is meaningless to me. I'll just be like, and then whatever.
I mean, when I was playing the original Fable, I went through like entire quest dressed in the dress, the
Okay.
girly pink frill dress, not because oh, I want to do all the transgender shit, but because I thought it was fucking hilarious. Now I'm certain someone out there will probably do the same thing because they're into the transgender shit. Like I care.
Mm. I would like to say that I know someone who definitely likes being, how do you put it, bossed around by women,
Yeah.
and that is not a bad thing.
I mean,
That.
I've played as guys, I've played as girls
No.
before. And
Well, we're talking about people that have the kind of sexual preference where they like
It's a
the
fetish. Yes.
yeah,
femdom.
Yes. People who want to be dominated by women. That's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that, okay?
It's fun every once in a while.
And this guy is talking about that, he's talking about being dominated by women. He's
which
also
is
saying that,
kind of hot, but
oh, nothing wrong with that.
But he's trying to guilt the chick into being that way.
if you can,
Yes, that is bad.
if anyone could get my ego in check, then hey, but whatever.
Then we started talking about The Last Jedi, and there was no going back. She hated Luke. I loved him. It was over. The end. No way to save that budding relationship. We
I
haven't
honestly have,
spoken since it was a week ago.
I have never seen a Star Wars movie in its entirety and have no desire to. Fuck Luke
I've never met
Skywalker,
anyone
fuck
that liked
Darth
The Last
Vader,
Jedi.
and
You never met anyone that liked The Last Jedi. Is that what you
Nope.
said?
Nope, I have never met anyone that liked The Last Jedi.
Interesting.
Hey, here's the point. I haven't seen any of the Star Wars movies since the last trilogy.
I haven't
Okay.
asked anyone about The Last Jedi because I can't be bothered.
I watched The
Uh,
Phantom Menace. I watched the other two. I have not watched any of the Star Wars since that because honestly, Disney took over and they are a fucking whore. They are a whore about everything that they are doing about that shit. I'm sorry, but I'm not paying to watch something where somebody knows that you want to watch it. So that's that.
You want to watch it, but we'll do whatever
No,
the
I
fuck
don't
we
want to watch it. I'm not going
Exactly.
to pay for that fucking whore.
Fuck paying for movies anyway.
Disney is a whore.
Disney is a
Continue,
fucking
Jim.
whore.
You heard it here.
You heard it here, 80 million folks. Disney
No,
is a
I'm
whore.
fucking done with Disney. Disney is a whore. Disney has always been a whore. They always.
Mickey Mouse turns trick on the street. We all know that.
The minute that they started marketing, how do you put them? Outdoor decorations. The fucking Yoda shit out there, blow up dolls, etc. Oh my god, I am done with fucking Disney. No, I'm done with you. I'm sorry.
Minnie Mouse? Oh boy, you don't want to know what I've heard
No,
about Minnie Mouse.
they had fucking Yoda blow up dolls that were outside in people's yards for fucking Christmas. I'm sorry. No, I'm done with you.
I think I'm imagining the same thing Elliot is the moment he started laughing. Just a blow up doll with Yoda cock.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sorry, but
I don't want to hear what it really is. No, don't tell me what it really is.
it's okay. It's okay. It's
Yeah,
okay.
no, don't ruin it
No,
for him.
I
He
get
wants
it. I
that
get you.
image
I
in his
get you.
head.
I get you.
Let's go.
Just saying.
Tim, read.
So that's how feminist frequency ruined my date. It was good though, because not only did it show me her opinions on feminism, but it also showed me she wasn't willing to discuss it with someone and have a serious conversation.
Right?
Or maybe
Or
she's
perhaps
willing to, or maybe she is willing to have a serious conversation with someone, just not you, because all you do is parrot what other people say rather than actually going out and having a mind of your own. Having a mind of your own is free, folks. You all can do it. All it takes is a little bit of self exploration.
And whenever you sit there and you do nothing but fuck. If I just brick walled you with every time you said something, it's like, no, it doesn't work like that. It works like this.
Oh no! Listen, Feminist Frequency just like on January 30th had a conversation with someone about Starship Troopers. Fuck that! I like it the way it was. Thank you.
Okay, it doesn't matter what the political argument is at this point. It doesn't matter if it's Frequency or Hitler'sMyHomeboy.com. As long as you parrot the website without actually thinking about what it means. I mean, yeah, I used to do the same thing, but then I realized, no one was me except for me, basically.
Right.
So, and why is it that every day it has to be political? Why can't you just go out and, I don't really have strong political opinions. Actually, I do have strong political opinions. Nuke it all. But I'm not an anarchist because I don't want to see anything like new get built up. I just want to see the old get knocked down.
A Boston police officer is on leave after strippers stole his gun.
Strippers stole my gun. I'm telling you, man.
A Boston police officer's weekend getaway to Rhode Island was cut short on Saturday when he discovered that two women he was hanging out with allegedly stole his gun and disappeared.
Why did he have his gun?
See, that's why not? In case you want to kill a stripper.
No, if he was off duty, why the fuck did he have his gun?
You want to kill a stripper.
Ah.
I mean, you're supposed to carry your private firearm, not your company-issued one when you're off duty.
Because, what do you have to
kill? At least that's how it works around here.
Well, every off-duty cop is only off-duty until, like, an emergency happens or whatever. If they see something in front of them or whatever, they will act. So I can sort of understand why they would have, just in case. It's sort of like an off-duty emergency worker,
The unnamed officer has been placed on paid leave and is the subject of an internal affairs investigation into his trip.
Damn straight.
Investigation into strippers.
Yeah. Based on the details we know so far, however, he was having himself a time. Has the Boston 25 has confirmed two exotic dancers in Rhode Island are charged with stealing a Boston police officer's gun while he was hanging out in his Pawtucket hotel room. The officer had apparently rented a room at Hampton Inn in Pawtucket Friday night and met up with a woman going by the name of Natalia, who investigators identified as 25-year-old Niche Rivera. Rivera and the officer, the report said, met up after chatting on Instagram and headed to the Narrow Lounge to meet 22-year-old Melissa Dacier. Both women were described as exotic dancers. After stops at two area strip clubs where Rivera worked previously, the Cadillac Lounge and the Foxy later, the latter, Rivera, had recently been charged with prostitution.
Color me surprised, not really.
The group headed back to the Hampton Inn in Pawtucket, according to the report. That's where things got really interesting. At some point, the officer reportedly gave Dacier his keys to get a phone charger from his car. And next thing he knew, both women had left the Hampton Inn, and his BPD issued .40 caliber Glock 22 was missing from his glove box. It didn't help matters that the keys to access the weapon were reportedly in his cup holder.
Don't.
I wonder whose fault that is.
Don't get those confused. Let's see. One's my McDonald's Coke and one's my weapon. Here, let me.
Oh God. I'm just sitting here thinking, you're a cop and you're trusting a stripper you just picked up off the fucking street, pretty much. You met her on Instagram.
Yeah.
No. You should be more able to understand what the shady element does. This is typical behavior for, street level fucking strippers.
You're a cop. You should know this shit.
I'm so glad he doesn't, because if he didn't, then
we wouldn't have this story.
We wouldn't have the story.
After the BPD officer called in the incident in the wee hours of Saturday morning, the local police found and arrested Rivera and Dacier Saturday night. Both were charged with large.
Nothing.
Both were charged with larceny of a firearm and conspiracy, with bail set at $5,000. And our hero, he's probably considering what kind of pals he wants to hang out with in the future.
Yeah, he should also.
No, I don't think he should consider what pals to hang out with. I just think he shouldn't give strippers his keys.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. No.
I mean, you can hang out with strippers all you want, just don't do that.
Dude, if you are in a position of authority, you cannot let that happen.
If I was in a position of authority, all of you would be dead.
Yeah, but dude, shush.
Dead.
I'm not talking about you.
Especially you, Jim.
I want to go over some personals. Just for the fuck of it. About KJ. I'm better off being alone. I'm more happier that way. This site is really nothing but bullshit. These guys are confused and don't know what they really want.
Well, that sounds sad.
I can talk all day long, but most people can't hold a conversation for very long.
I can talk all day long. Jim's heard me. Just blah, 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 blah. So anyway, Jim, I was talking about this and this. He's like, shut up. Shut up.
Oh, God.
I like.
Does this sound like something a guy would want to respond to?
No. Not necessarily. Oh, hell, that's if I was a woman, I wouldn't want to respond to this. That sounds.
Most people can't hold a conversation. I agree. Most people are shit at conversations because most of it's hi. How are you?
There's like no information about anything you would.
No, this person sounds like they just want to be left alone.
Yeah.
Here's my personal. Ready, guys? Here's my personal. Eat my ass. I think we just killed her.
No.
All right. Interests: music, flea markets, cooking, dancing, antiques, baking, movies, Sunday drives, sharing time with ones I love most in life, dining, holiday picnics, and dinners with family and friends.
So I can never do any of these things on OkCupid because I don't know what the hell to write, because I'd rather just people get to know me and figure out if they like me or not. I don't know. How do I describe myself? I get cranky and hate people a lot and fuck you and
put that on there, because honestly that would probably be better. Elliot, come on.
And death.
Do that. Put that on there.
No, I'm off that site now for reasons. For reasons that one of you understands.
I put down crude, rude gutter slime to the vilest degree and just went from there. In fact, I could go over my OkCupid profile after this.
Yeah, well,
as I recall, Jim was all like, fire is good and nothing is better, and I was like, okay.
That's all she needed to hear. Fire good.
Yeah.
Fire good. That was her response whenever we played Pathfinder, was basically, but fire. I was like,
fire.
I want to do this, but fire. It's like, fuck.
I can't argue with that logic. Fire is too good.
I'm good with fire.
I'm looking for a man that is good-hearted, true, faithful, loving, warm, sensual, passionate, romantic, honest, a doer, worker, etc. It takes two to want a fantastic relationship. You have to know what the other's wants and needs are and care enough to try and make it happen. Someone who enjoys the art of loving, and being loved in return, and the passion and sexuality that's all goes with having that perfect relationship. Not into fighting and disagreements. It takes bigger person to walk away. No one is perfect, but you can sure as heck do your best. There's a lot of 1 and 2 letter things here.
Basically, I just look for anyone who doesn't just, hi, how are you? Have you fucked? Or hi, how are you? I love you. Get to know someone, and like, especially one person who may be listening to this show, so I will withhold the name, who was like, yeah, I really liked your Facebook cover photo, which you guys have seen my cover photo and you know what it is. It's the cover of Carcass's Recon Putrefaction, for those of you who don't.
I have friended people simply because of their Facebook.
So anyone who says that, oh yeah, I like, I thought this person is like kind of up my alley. I was like, okay, this person sounds awesome, and turns out I was right.
You can have your dream. Just takes determination to make it happen. You have a big heart, warm, loving, and a one-woman man and a one-man woman.
The last person literally said, I would consider going out with you if you get rid of your Facebook cover photo. I was like, no. There's a reason why. Actually, the only reason why I put it on is because I asked Jim if he thought I'd get away with it, and Jim said no.
Yes, so, that's all right.
Good.
Me being me, I and
yes, that seems about right. That's fine.
You know what the best part is? The Facebook image thing. It's an image may contain one person food. It has interesting ideas of what food is. Why are we reading personals? Why are we reading?
I like Jim is reading. Jim is reading OkCupid responses, and I think they're absolutely fucking hilarious.
I'm just doing it to do it because it's a show about dating. So why not?
Oh.
Have everything I could ever want and need in life, except having someone to share my life with.
All right.
He drank a bottle of whiskey, $200 worth of crack, and then the next day polished off 2 months of Ambien. And he lived.
Honestly, these people don't know what the hell they want.
Love auctions, flea markets, antiques, car shows, going to the beach, sunbathing, dining, dancing, country, old rock, seeking exotic fish.
Oh, right.
Exotic in the fact. Huh? What was that, Elliot?
The cuttlefish of Cthulhu. That's an exotic fish.
Yes, it is. Exotic in the fact that they have the same qualifications as described above, which everyone sees themselves as everything positive all the time.
I see myself as everything negative all the time.
Only this breed of fish will be kept. P.S. Down to earth country girl.
Oh, jeez.
I'm pretty much a fuck up. And I like being a fuck up.
Oh, I don't even remember what the hell I had on that.
Getting to know one another. I'm not a hard person to please. Whatever the other person wants to do is fine. This tells me like absolutely nothing. The whole entire thing just tells me nothing. Your actual list of interests tells me more than like your fucking whole profile.
Oh yeah, but does anyone actually ever read those profiles? I just sort of.
I do.
No, Jim does.
See,
because I'm looking for something to talk about. I'm not there saying, "Oh wow, pretty face. Oh wow, nice tits." I don't give a shit. What the fuck do you want to talk to me about?
See, I read it.
Elliot, do you want to know what Jim told me the first time I actually talked to him? Say no. You don't want to.
Yes, I do.
But
let's hear your angle on this. Go ahead.
Jim told me, "Why don't you want me to shove my face into your crotch?"
Okay, well. Oh yeah, I remember this. But see, the thing is, like, I'll read profiles, but they don't really tell me anything most of the time. So I'll basically go, "Hey, what kind of music do you like?" Because that's my fallback. My fallback is music, because that's the one thing I understand in this world.
The one thing that sticked out to me from her profile was like, oh yeah, and P.S. I don't like guys going down and putting their face in my crotch.
No, I am not a big fan of that.
I was like, well, why not? Because every other girl I've ever been with loves that.
Yeah, so he had to make a deal of it.
I usually wait, like,
and that's how we started talking, and it just grew from there. There was at least one thing I wanted to know. Throughout this entire profile I just read, there was nothing.
Well, it made it fun. It made it fun because as much as Shim is all like, devil, kill, and I'm like,
there's one thing I would ask about that, the car show thing, but that's because I'm a car nut. But the thing is, so basically, my fallback is music, because I don't understand how people react. I just understand metal, and so that's me. So I don't know. Then I can't criticize because I don't know what the hell to write. So
nothing wrong with that, man.
I just sort of just message me, people.
Nothing wrong with that.
And
it's okay.
You'll see. So that's all fun and games until someone gets hurt, and then it's hilarious. Especially if it's Jim. So
yes, I blame you, Elliot. I blame you for a lot of shit that goes on in my life.
So I had a thing. Jim said he wanted flamethrower sword, or sorry, chainsaw swords.
Yes, yes.
Well, Jim, I will give you chainsaw swords, but they will be powered by two 426 Hemi V8 engines weighing, 1,000 pounds each or whatever, with a huge gas tank that can hold, 50-something gallons because it's got to supply two engines.
I got to work out to have the muscle mass in order to support that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
like that's a lot of muscle. I got to become Guts from Berserk, pretty much.
Basically, Jim, if you can support all of this, then look out. But I doubt it. You'll probably just.
Oh, my arm.
His arm just fell off.
I'm a mother of 3 wonderful children. I love all kinds of music.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Wait, Jim. Please read that again. I can't help but love it when
Elliot.
you read it in your voice.
Elliot.
I'm a mother of 3 wonderful children. I love all kinds of music.
Stop being a butthead.
No.
I love all kinds of music. Would you like some Cannibal Corpse? Maybe some Artery Eruption?
What about some Archgoat?
I think Archgoat behave.
Artery Eruption or some Blasphemy.
There we go. And I love to cuddle up with someone to watch a movie after the children go to sleep, plus more.
What about watching Faces of Death?
Elliot.
What?
Shush.
No, it's my show.
Quiet you.
If you want to know more, just ask me and I'll tell you. I'm looking for friends first, and if it goes further, then things happen for a reason.
No,
like I said, quiet you.
I love to talk about stuff to do with my children.
Oh, that's interesting.
God, that's could be taken so horribly.
Wait. First of all, Jim, how often have I asked you to interact with my children?
Not very often. They just sort of come up to me every now and then, and I, pat them on the head and send them on their way, or tell them my aged words of wisdom, trying to cut out as many cuss words as possible.
Jim, do they come up to you and go, monster, kill it! Kill it!
I think Carmine's done that once.
Maybe. Still, honestly. My kids have never, never expected him to be any part of anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've dated several women with kids, so
I think the
Oh,
longest
they're fun.
conversation I've had with them outside of the occasional whenever they decide to plop down for D&D is about Pokemon.
They do like Pokemon, yes.
I don't know what I say. Like my cousin is someone I like. I don't know what to say to him. So
And I
cute.
like to talk about stuff about favorite things and what my life is like and what other people like and love in their lives too. So,
Yeah,
in other words, you've given me absolutely no information to go on, so that way I have no idea what the fuck I would be responding to.
as I was saying. So whenever I talk, it's like, "Hey kid, do you like desecration? What's desecration? Oh wait, you're only 10. You're
Oh,
you're not
Elliot.
you're not into
Shush.
UK death metal yet.
Shush, Elliot. Shush.
Hey, it's my show.
No, no, I'm just telling you, shush.
You can't tell me to shush, but I can tell
I'm
you to.
telling you to shush right now because honestly, dude, come on.
Well, yeah, but what? I'm always a moron,
Mm,
right? Jim, back me up here.
Yes, he is a moron.
if you want people to go into your show, then you need to. Shh.
I want people to like jump off cliffs while because they think, "Oh my god, this show's so horrible."
After you talk them into it, dude. Like,
No.
Interests. Interests: downhill skiing, kayaking, traveling, reading, hiking, having
oh,
fun, man, camping.
Well, what do
I've
you
never
enjoy
done any
reading?
of that shit.
That's the what do you enjoy reading? Because there's a lot of genres you might not like reading historic, war epics involving gore. You
I've
know,
never done any of that shit.
Read the Necronomicon.
or
I have a
read
copy of one of them.
or read mind control porn on the internet.
I have the Simon Necronomicon in my book collection right now. We can read that.
Or what about Wargold by Dave Brocky?
That's
I
another
walk
good
into the restaurant just as it is about to be bombed.
one. Yeah, that's the way you start a story. I walked into a restaurant just as it was about to be bombed. I didn't know it at the time, but then, my face.
Oh fuck! This person actually left the United States.
We need to
Nice.
we need to review that book, Jim.
Hmm.
Because it is honestly my favorite fiction book ever written.
First off, if you are someone who responds with one word, don't even bother. Well, let's see if your profile's
No, no,
worth
no,
more than
no.
one word.
What if that
Listen,
one word
listen.
is like smegma or something?
What was that, Daneman?
This person has actually left the United States. They went to Munich for Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
That is really, really hard to do right
Yeah.
now. I
I'm
mean,
just stating the obvious, but my name's Chelsea. Hey, how are you? I'm 29 years old, and I'm still a huge work in progress. I have a 3-year-old girl, and I still live with my family. I am 7 credits away from my degree in geology from Cal U. Okay, so far there's actually things to respond to.
I live next door to somebody who actually was born in Germany, so
Yeah,
okay.
but I had to take some time off. I've been bartending and serving the past 7 years, but I took some time off to spend with my child. I'm a bigger, chubbier, thicker girl, or
Mhm.
whatever damn term you find to be synonymous with my physique. Well, yeah, I know it's hard to keep up with all the terms when you just don't give a shit.
I just call myself fat bastard, so whatever.
Yeah, I'm a fat bastard. I'm a tall, fat bastard.
Me too. And if you don't
I
believe it,
wish
then
I wish that I had enough money that I could actually leave the United States and actually go somewhere else.
oh, I
Oh my
honestly,
god.
my last girlfriend was from Kenya, and I was saving up money to visit her. I really would do that because I have no reason other than lack of finances to live in Los Angeles at the moment. I have no love for this place. I have no love for my home. Um, and uh, there's my the theme song of my life has to be Halloween's "I Want Out," which is actually about Kai Hansen wanting to leave the band. So I suppose that's
I'm a very laid back, down to earth person who likes to travel. I've done a loop through national parks in South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana.
Right.
Oh, I went to Munich for Oktoberfest. Prost.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't done that.
Equating the going to South Dakota and Munich is not a good thing. Okay.
Yeah, that usually means you got a bit more change on you.
a lot of money goes into that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Munich is a really, really, really far away because Munich is fucking Germany.
Unless you squat.
Oh.
Like a lot of the punk bands go on, tours with like no budget and they just basically sleep wherever they can.
Yeah, but you aren't in an entirely different country.
Exactly. Okay. What's the point of continue?
I've never been a very affectionate person, but as I want to settle down, that's starting to change. I'm shocking the hell out of myself saying this, but I want to cook dinner, spend time, have some drinks, and just laugh. Well, here I am, not interested. Bye. If so, go ahead, get a hold of me. My sarcasm will keep you on edge.
I have to
Sounds like she's full of herself.
Yeah, but at least she's giving something to respond to. I wouldn't respond to it based on this seems like, but like at least if you have something, if someone else had something that they had, there's enough here to find interest in. Is what
I want to talk to a woman from Nigeria who basically said that a woman's duty is to basically be a robot for her husband. After that, I kind of like a bit of ego because that creeped me out, actually. Just like basically
telling a woman she needs to do this
for her husband, anything at all. That creeped me out. I was like, you know what? A bit of fool yourself is actually not a bad thing. I've had some interesting experiences. And one day they'll be in a book which no one will read.
Oh, heck.
On to the next. I'm very down to earth. I'm a homebody, but I like to hang out here and there. Get to know me more by talking to me.
Well, let's talk to her then.
There's absolutely no more information to go on.
No.
That is where that profile began and ended. I cannot reply to this.
Oh.
Well, there's nothing for me to write about. There's nothing for me to be curious about.
I actually can. Why are you a homebody? Is it because humans repulse you?
I'm a CNA. I love what I do. I'm in nursing school. Got my own place and car.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome, but that's also going to attract everyone that has zero income and living in parents' basement.
Yeah, that is, yes.
Hey, watch your mouth.
Oh.
My friends and family mean the world to me. Once again, not much to go on other than what car do you have?
Hey, girl.
My friends, my friends.
I remember whenever I would be fucking out there messaging people randomly, and I'd come across profiles like this. I was like, okay, I'll just take a chance. And the only thing I think of is, what music do you listen to, and what do you do for fun? It's the same boring questions ever.
Like, I was talking to a woman who said that she thinks Death Clock is too, like, she can't even tolerate the band Death Clock.
What?
And I'm sorry, like, okay, I've dated women who don't like metal. In fact, that's sort of because nobody's gonna like metal as much as me. But if you can't at least tolerate it, if Death Clock is too extreme for you, then we have because
it's a why.
I don't need to. I don't need to tell you people that I listen to metal pretty much constantly.
Now we're gonna put Danimund on the spot.
What? No, I'm gonna say right now, if you cannot listen to Death Clock, then I'm sorry. Why? Why?
The big picture of Jim and his seduction
Why
style.
do you even?
If
Why
you
do you
can't, if
listen
you
to
can't,
anybody here? Why?
if you can't listen to Death Clock, you're not going to like what I'm listening to right now, which is the rawest of raw black metal. Literally, it was recorded on a 4-track and not even mixed.
No.
It was basically, it just recorded and printed, and it is amazing.
Oh, please, please.
And you're really not going to like I Hate God.
Jim is not necessarily promiscuous or lacks standards, but the overall answer patterns suggest Jim is exceedingly sensitive to the psychological and physical elements of romance and passion. Even to the point they, at times, may lack impulse control. Do I lack impulse control?
Yes.
I don't know. You do tend to grab stuff that you ought not to.
And you like it.
I've heard stories.
People like this tend to love life with zeal, often living in the moment and trying not to let experiences pass them by.
Yes. Sing that.
With many having engaged in a wider range of sexual behaviors, sometimes with a number of different partners. How many stories have I shared on this show? Oh, dear God. Someone like this is bound to be gregarious and flirtatious in public.
Oh, I like that word. Gregarious.
Becoming extremely sensual and wildly uninhibited, but behind closed doors. Anything you wish to clue people in on?
I don't know.
In fact, these individuals are amongst the most passionate people when the timing is right. Unfortunately, the moons must align appropriately for me to get it up. But otherwise,
Jem, do you want me to play you up or something?
You don't need to play me up. You can play me down. You can fucking do whatever. I don't care. Whatever you want to do.
Okay. I'm just gonna ignore it then.
Don't ignore. Interact. Interact. That's the only rule. I don't care how you interact as long as you interact. What makes this type so attractive? Uninhibited nature, fun-loving, and provocative. This type is very adventurous and erotophilic. I'm probably open to trying new things with many closeted kinks when it comes to sexual experimentation. As long as I do not have to shit at the time.
You don't need me to comment on that.
Why not?
Come on, Jim.
Lust for the sensual and the act of seduction, not to be stigmatized as players necessarily. The sort loves anything that entertains their intellect, including the sexual, and that involves pleasure, including the potential for even greater pleasure. That just sounds like a episode of Hellraiser.
Doesn't it?
Open the box. Here's even greater pleasure. Ah, my flesh!
Nice.
Ability to be fabulous, hopeless flirts. Okay, I'm not understanding that one. How often do I flirt?
A lot.
Okay, apparently I do not even notice it then. That's bad. I don't even notice I'm doing it. Fuck.
Well, flirting for guys basically means, hey, I'm here. What do you think? And they give how do you put a wink, and you're like, oh.
My type of wink is just giving that psychotic look, you know.
Yes, I know, Jim. I know.
Like Joker when he did the title drop in Full Metal Jacket. I mean, no, that was Gomer Pyle that did that. Joker was the one that walked in on him. Sorry. Whether coy, up for tit for tat discourse, or clever in dishing out the flattery, this sort is alluring in their ability to be suggestive and fearless in expressing that interest.
Isn't that fearless? Isn't that nice?
I'm fearless and also expressing a lot of other opinions.
Hmm.
What were you about to think?
Nothing.
Their sensitivity and moodiness. A bit theatrical at times, don't I fucking know that? And not afraid to express themselves in many ways. This sort will always keep you entertained, amusing wooers who know how to handle it. While this type can be into all sorts of high stimuli, becoming easily aroused, except in recent years, don't assume that their ability to realize their highest sexual self on a physical level translates into being able to do that on an emotional or spiritual level in the boudoir. So I got to break out the holy relics and start up the pentagram. Okay. If this is what you're after, you may be disappointed. Rather, allow yourself to be allured, recognizing that much of what they do is based on their need to be pleased, their desire to be liked and loved, their need to impress, and a deep-seated vulnerability when it comes to being intimate with another. Okay. How to approach Jim. A person's approach to Jim lays the foundation for steps 2 and 3. Flirting styles that turn Jim on. Playful and natural. Witty, confident. Flirting styles that turn me off. Mysterious and vague. Coy. Manipulative.
I personally like mysterious. I like people who don't give everything away because I don't know. It's more interesting to figure someone out than like, hi, my name is blah blah, and I'm like blah 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 blah. It's like, okay, well, I know everything about you within the first 5 minutes. I'm gonna go back to listen to Archgoat. I don't know.
Archgoat.
I get bored kind of easily, and so I like someone who isn't, not like an ice queen or anything, but leaves a little bit guesswork.
Jim makes inappropriate remarks.
Yes, he is.
Jim makes inappropriate remarks. The hell you say? Oh, fuck's sake! Sorry, I just stretched and my legs felt like death.
Favorite conversation topics. Stories about our different pasts.
Oh.
God.
Various philosophical concepts and abstracts with possible debate.
Yeah.
Heavy metal, death metal, thrash metal, new wave of British heavy metal, and how new metal isn't metal at all, but alt rock corporate package to attempt to grab at metalhead loyalty dollars.
Even people who influence new metal don't even like new metal. That says a lot for you.
My least favorite conversation topics are politics.
In Jim's own words.
He's still more political than I am, though.
I talk about it on this show a lot, and I'm into shit, but that's me posting online.
Yeah.
How often do I actually get political whenever it's just like regular bullshit, though?
And how many
I'm
times?
sorry, that's fucking
And how
funny.
many times, Jim, on this show have I just greeted the thing with an exasperated sigh?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. The world's fucked. We know. Whatever. I think your idea is about as stupid as you think my ideas are.
Hey, my job here is to be mad at you.
Good.
Viewers, you have political ideas? Well, probably just like you probably think mine are.
Least favorite conversation topic number 2: pop rock, rap, country music.
Oh,
These are things I wish not to
I
talk
still
about.
say G.G. Allen.
yeah, I will absolutely hate you for country music. So,
I still say G.G. Allen makes the best country. In the perimeters, yeah, fuck off. Yeah, outskirts of life, man.
And I also do not wish to talk about most modern TV shows and movies.
The well, I watched the Venture Brothers a couple times, but I don't really watch a lot of modern TV shows.
I
Well,
like the Venture Brothers.
Modern
That was okay. That was okay.
modern movies. The last fictional movie I watched was Rush, and that was based on a true story. There was a movie where me and Judy went in to make out, so I don't remember what that movie was called though. I remember
Fair.
I remember some things about it, but I don't remember what it was called. We just
That's
needed
fair.
a cool place to make out in, 'cause it was hot. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't really watch. I will watch Lords of Chaos because I'm duty bound to as a metalhead. I think everyone seriously, I think everyone who is into black metal is duty bound to watch this if no for no other reason than just to see how shit it is.
That makes sense to me. Jim's answer pattern suggests there should be a good response to someone whose attitude or temperament is downright effervescent.
Jim's answer pattern. I can only imagine what Jim's answer pattern. Earth.
Feast on the flesh of the unborn.
Blood of Christian children.
Looking up the definition of effervescent means vivacious and enthusiastic.
I don't see Jim as being vivacious and enthusiastic.
No, but the
At this
person
point,
he is
probably a little
attracted
more
to.
vivacious than me at the moment.
The thing is, the person talking to me should be. They're pretty much saying that the person talking to me should be happy, happy, joy, joy.
And I'm sorry, that's me.
Yeah, I like to have a little light let into my soul, even though it's black as the blackest black that there ever was black.
I like the blackest black.
Good.
It all depends on the person.
Terrible,
like,
though.
sometimes
Enter the complete uniformity and lawfulness of the void.
it really all depends on the person. I could deal with someone being happy and very very sort of bright and vivacious sort of because I can get kind of melancholic sometimes as Jim knows.
Yes.
And it's nice to have the balancing act. But then again, I could also have someone melancholic. So it really just depends on the person and the mood I'm in. At this point, I think happy joy sort of balance.
No, I'm stupid, retarded, joy. That's not my fault. I'm sorry.
It is stupid, retarded, joy.
The bottom line.
Thank you.
Bottom line, show off, even exude the side of you that is high energy and even a little wild. Jim wants to see your sense of humor, creativity, and intelligence, as well as a positive attitude throughout your words and actions. Positive attitude does not mean positive world outlook.
No, I try my best.
Jim wants to see your intelligence because he doesn't have one.
Oh.
Yeah,
nasty.
Jim wants to know what are your guilty pleasures in life.
I have no guilty fucking pleasures. I like fucking a girl pop band just as much as I like Artery Eruption.
What is the oddest thing you have ever had a dream about?
They're called Look Blue, Go Purple. They're really good. The oddest thing I ever had a dream about. Okay, this is actually true, and I think I might have told you this. I had a dream that I walked into the. Yeah, I guess it was the living room, but it wasn't. It wasn't the same as in my house. And you and Scott were there watching a DVD, and you were like, "Hey, finally you got in here." I was like, all I could think of, even in the dreams, like, "How the hell did you get into my house?"
And then Pop, you woke up. It's like, God damn it! I didn't get the answer.
Yeah,
That way I would know what to board up.
that was the strangest dream. Yeah, every time Jim's in my which only happened once. Thank fuck.
How would you dress up for a fancy date on the town? A costume party with friends or a role play adventure with a lover?
Fancy date, Gigi Allen shirt.
Jim already knows that I have a wig. I have 2 wigs, actually.
Well, it's funny because I was, every time I talk to a girl, it's like, by the way, I'm about as fancy as, not fancy at all.
To Jim, a first date should last however long makes sense, since I prefer to go with the flow. And the date would ideally be spontaneous. I like to set a time and place
A dirt track.
and see where the date goes from there.
Actually, I think a race would be the worst idea for a date for me because although Jim's never seen me at a race, he probably figures out that once the cars get on the track, I pretty much ignore everyone.
Yeah, and you might scream, "You dipshit," or "There you go."
Well, no, not even that. I listen to the commentary and like try to figure out the strategy and things like that. So I just get really into my head and all of a sudden somebody taps me on the shoulder, like, "What the? There's people here." So yeah, actually going to a race would be the worst idea for a date because I just ignore them.
As I recall, the last time that I went on Jim with a first date, I did not hear from him for like 24 hours.
I have the problem with not talking
No,
to people.
he went home and he passed the fuck out.
Yeah, I did, because, well, here, favorite dating activities. The county fair or an amusement park.
Yes.
We met at the county fair, so yeah, I was pretty burnt out from that day because
I
was riding rides that I'm too old for anymore. What was that you said?
We walked around like constantly.
Yeah.
My ideal date, let's go to a death metal show.
Walking around a park, trail, or even the mall if the weather's too bad. Playing video games, tabletop RPGs, or something to encourage talking.
Or Jim. I wore him out.
Yep. Least favorite dating activities. Movies, you can't talk there. Bars and taverns, the music usually sucks.
Stop. That's what I don't get about going to the movies. You can't talk and get to know someone.
Oh no, because talking during the movies is a bad thing.
I mean, personally, I would probably want to because modern day movies about it excite me.
Yes,
being bitten on the nuts by a fucking bug.
What? Why did that person do this? Why is that? Why is this? Why is that?
Yeah.
Don't feel too bad. Jim, that fucker made me stay up for over like 24 hours because he spent 7 hours getting his fucking speakers so that he was trying to make it so that he could hear the game and I could hear the game. But 7 hours later, it didn't work. And it was like 11 o'clock. And I was like, I think I'll just play Fallout New Vegas for about 20 minutes. Because I was like, ready to die because I'd stayed up. I'd woken up about, 10 or 11. So I was fucking dead.
But I got you hopelessly addicted to the game.
6 hours later.
Yeah. Let's blow his face off now. Okay. And we're eating him.
No, even better. Jim's the one who ended it because he had to go to work the next day. I was perfectly willing to stay up even more.
Yeah.
After, I think I'll just play it for 20 minutes.
Assuming the first date goes well, Jim may take it as far as going with the flow. However, this doesn't mean you should have great expectations, so remain classy.
the fuck is classy?
I mean, classy.
Someone tell me what classy
Oh,
means.
no. Jim.
What?
Have I always been classy?
Half the time.
Wait, I have a question. Seriously, I have a question.
Thank you.
How does the word classy fit even remotely in the same sentence with Jim?
I know, right?
That is a question.
No.
Come on, I'm gutter slime, baby. I'm pure.
I can think of many words that
That's why we like you, Jim.
Asshole.
That's exactly the way it works.
Asshole again.
Remain respectful and let the mood develop naturally and gradually.
It's kind of what I did.
Yay.
Gosh.
And then everyone died.
Yes.
Don't tell me to hush.
Well, like it was like.
I said yes.
I will come over there and
literally, she was playing like Fallout the next time I came over and just brutally murdering people for no reason. It was so literally death came next.
I said yes.
That's what happened with me because I played Adventure.
Yes, that is what happened.
Text Adventures.
Jim's major turn-ons. Communication, ability to say what's on their mind. Let me know if they need a few moments to cool down. Tell me what they want. Next one is
screaming.
Spontaneity, randomness, and a bit of chaos. A brain, ability to debate, capable of introspection.
A brain. Another thing that Jim doesn't have. Oh
no!
I kid because I don't care.
Oh, you're so mean.
I just can't wait for the emails. Why are you so mean to Jim this episode? Wait, what am I not mean to Jim?
Exactly.
I know. I'm just saying.
Jim's major turnoffs. Unwilling to perform introspection, see their own faults and strengths, question themselves and find their own answers. Inability to handle intense situations or people. Disinterest in trying new things, living to the fullest. What were you going
with that?
What?
That doesn't sound like you.
What? No, these were my turnoffs.
I'm just saying, that doesn't sound like you.
It doesn't sound like me to not try new things or to try.
Did not try things. Yeah. Gosh.
Yeah. Well, I do attempt to try new things, I thought. Do I?
Have you ever tried decapitation? It's fun. It's fun and new, Jim. Let's try it. You first. Okay. Wait, this is stupid.
How to sexually seduce Jim.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Jim scored high on alpha and beta, so we call his profile a serpent.
Oh no.
Oh, my dinner's coming up now. Fuck. That's the last thing I want to think about right now.
Good.
I'm sorry.
These sensation seekers are not necessarily sex fiends, but they can be somewhat open-minded and exploratory when it comes to sexual expression.
Oh yeah, definitely coming up. Fuck.
For Jim, sex is often a transcendent experience, which he feels unparalleled pleasure that comes from all the sensations of an intense emotional and physical connection with a partner, with many uncoiling his innermost sexual energy for a cosmic sexual experience.
Yeah, I don't want to know about uncoiling. But yeah, so that's Jim's thing. I'm scarred for life now.
The dominance this type sometimes portrays in the bedroom is one meant for mutual pleasuring, for the greater good of the relationship and connection, than one of selfish gratification. Sexual pleasuring is a celebration of the relationship and among the union's highest priorities. When it comes to tantric sex, what thoughts come to mind? Is sex best planned or left completely spontaneous? How would you describe the difference between sex and making love? Are there any sexual activities that couples should not try?
No or yes. I don't know.
I think I've embarrassed a woman. Should a partner have sex even when they're not in the mood? How would you describe the ultimate sensual experience for you?
Morbid Angel playing in the background. Chapel of Ghouls. Or Baby Killer by Devourment. I mean, at least Baby Killer's got a sort of a slamming beat, dun 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 dun. So you just pretend it's funk or something. I don't care.
Romantic fantasies Jim finds especially unappealing. Rich bitch and poor hired help. Anyone's favorite celebrity.
No,
Romeo and Juliet. Who the hell thinks Romeo and Juliet's even romance?
You've never wanted to bang Slyminster Hyman?
Yeah, but who hasn't?
I got to admit it. My work is done. Yeah, Romeo and Juliet. Well, I mean, I think the whole suicide thing is kind of hot, but that's because I'm depraved.
Romantic fantasies Jim finds especially appealing. Stranger sex, pretending that you just met, even picking up each other on a train, at a bar, or while shopping. Affair sex, the next door neighbor, a waiter at a restaurant, a boss and secretary, or Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. I don't know if I could do that.
I've already done that shit in real life. I don't need to do it in fantasy.
Losing each other's virginity. I don't know. Maybe if I drank so much I forgot everywhere I've been.
I can just here. I'll give you a brick that you can give to the girl and say, "Hit me on the head, and make me forget."
Abduction, kidnapping.
That's interesting.
A high-end stripper, even being forced to strip. A rock star with the hot groupie.
That's never really appealed. I've never liked the rock star life. It's funny because there's a book called Louder Than Hell, which is about the history of metal, and no matter what genre, they always talk about sex and things like that because that's all they can think about. It's funny because with glam, it's like, oh yeah, but then even with thrash, with death metal, the sex stories are beyond pathetic. It's like, yeah, that's what I'm used to. Drink beer and go to bed. I'm a loser. We know. You're a loser. There's
Plenty of Fish wants you to know about some idiosyncrasies related to fantasy locations that the assessment identified in Jim. Fantasy locations Jim finds especially unappealing.
My fantasy would be with Morbid Angel on, but I think I mentioned that before.
Scented candles, soft music, and ballroom dancing are places I find especially unappealing. Well, definitely the soft music. Come on.
Artery Eruptions, Ripped with Anal Forceps. That's another good romantic song.
That's how you get a good tempo going, is death metal.
All right, so
what was that, Danemon?
Nothing, just saying. Oh,
okay. Fantasy locations Jim finds especially appealing. On a farm or barn. Forests. Haunted houses.
No,
concerts.
stop.
Huh.
Fucking an animal.
Fucking an animal.
Drinking 50 beers.
Forest haunted houses, concerts, dark alleys, and playgrounds.
I could see you in a haunted house, personally.
I want to take this test.
I'd like to
I will
take it.
ship you the link as soon as I'm done with this.
Okay.
I'd like to take a test.
Okay, so keep going on. I'm cool with this. Jim.
Now you've got that song stuck in my head.
Oh no.
Meet my animal.
You're alright. Come
There
on.
was only one last section here, okay?
What does Jim like? Does he
Sex
not
play
like?
Jim finds especially unappealing.
Ooh.
Fur fetishism. Boot shoe fetishism. Cross-dressing. Sex play Jim finds especially appealing.
There's a show we did where the thumbnail is Jim in a dress. Find out, want to be scarred for life.
Wrestling. Role play. Exhibitionism. Fixation on sacred objects like crosses. Voyeurism. Watching others have sex.
Yeah, Jim
Biting
has a
and
cross
hickeys.
fetish.
Huh?
Jim has a cross fetish. He shoves it up a girl's.
Yeah, it's great as a dildo.
I reserve the right to say nothing about that.
Fuck the cross, bitch.
Me, a haiku. I'm crude, rude gutter slime of the vilest degree and wouldn't have it any other way. Introspection, challenging myself, learning about different views or facts, and attacking life with uncanny zeal are hallmarks of my existence. I'm really good at being an asshole, living life to the fullest when I can, offending and or intimidating people, plus cussing every 5 seconds and still making a fairly sound point.
For those of you, I don't even remember what episode it was, but there was a very early episode where Jim had kids over to look at some cats.
And oh
And
dear God, was it difficult not cussing while on this show.
he couldn't cuss, and that was, in my opinion, the funniest show we ever did. Just because, heck, the freaking
I lived one hell of a life thus far, and my used and abused body shows it. Life may have dealt me a bum hand, but I play it well enough to have plenty of stories to share.
Well, if you make it to June, you've outlived Seth Putnam.
Yay.
I don't think you've done as many cool things as Seth Putnam, but
yeah, I probably haven't because I didn't go touring or anything.
Well, you didn't make music,
Uh,
and you didn't.
The ride has been full of peaks and valleys, so I'd love to share in this adventure brought on by each day. And I linked the damn report that was just read. And there is a picture of me playing guitar on a stage.
I'd like to know what band he was in for about 5 minutes.
I don't know.
The scary thing is, and what keeps me up at night, it's probably a band I listen to. With anyone else, you'd say no, but the kind of obscure death metal I'm into, so. And I've seen you several bands from the Pittsburgh area.
My dream job is to entertain people, regardless if that means providing thought-provoking commentary or material so far off the rails I'm continually mocked and derided.
You know what would entertain me? Chopping your arm off with a blunt knife.
That sounds like fun. I would have to try killing you for that.
Yes, thank you.
Feel free to call bullshit on any of this. There's a picture of me getting choked by Spooky.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that at all.
You do it constantly, though.
No, I do not.
Let's see here.
God, what? Come on. What's up?
I like you. I don't want you to die. Hey.
Well,
I know, but there's other things that are fun.
Actually, he was born in May '68 and died June 2011. So all you have to do is live till early March early March, and you've outlived him. That'll be sad.
My worst quality. I'm becoming less and less tolerant of the wealthy and upper middle class brackets.
Nah, Jim's totally. How do you put it?
He goes
Soft.
on rants, and I have to point out his idiot.
I'm totally what?
You're soft.
I'm soft.
That's what every girl I've dated says about me. But Jim goes on rants about, and I'm like, no, that's rich in Pennsylvania, in California.
Oh.
In California, that's living on the street.
On the way to get some hay for my aunt, I heard some radio health guru proclaim the magic of putting hamburger on salad. You know, that dish I prepared many times during my lifetime, combining ingredients I could afford, is a new discovery. This is not counting the myriad of quick fix solutions they come up with to fix poor and working class lives, all which require near infinite resources and time, thus impossible to apply in reality without going jobless and homeless, which I would add the yet again applying it to myself.
I have a great way. It's called drugs. Everyone should be given drugs to sell.
Sorry to break it to you, but I'd rather have my dead end go nowhere job that pays some of the bills than put an ounce of effort into their utopian projects.
Well, yeah.
To hell with the sugar-coated nonsense. I will rub you the wrong way. The concept of being edgy eludes me as I question whether those who call me such have just lived sheltered lives with no exposure to gutter slime such as myself.
I've come to the conclusion that a lot of people who call people edgy are people who can't deal with the fact that people think this way, like in real life. Like, you know, it's one of those TV tropes calls it. Oh wait, you're actually serious, and oh yeah, that's a good joke. You're just trying to get a rise out. Oh my god, you're actually serious. I've had several experiences with that many times.
And what was that you were about to say? Just an evil laugh, okay.
Yeah, I've had experiences of that many times where people are like, "Oh, haha, Elliot's just being funny. Oh my god, he believes what he."
No, I was actually saying, but he,
Yeah, I was trying to see if there was more to it than
No.
I take being called an upstanding pillar of the community as a grave insult to my honor.
I know, and that's why I call him that.
If you feel the need to be accepted everywhere, then feel free to reject me. You'd only be wasting both our time pursuing anything here. To the few that survive that, barring those too shallow as to never read these profiles and only reply to a random pic in a feed, which happens more often than I'd like.
I mean, I read the profiles, but like I said, they don't tell me anything. So if I see someone even remotely interesting, I'll just be like, "So, like I said, you call yourself a homebody? Are you like that because you find humidity repulsive, or are you just lazy?"
My apathy levels go through the roof, making me seem much colder than I actually am.
Oh.
I seem colder than I am, but am I that cold?
Sometimes I just shut down, and I need people to remind me, like, hey, maybe pay attention to people, and I don't know. I need to stop getting into these fucking apathetic moods because I know.
No, I'm wondering about the fucking goddamn incels right now.
I know they do me more harm than good, and I know they're not healthy, and all that stuff.
I've been through the meat grinder a few times, acquiring some wisdom from that, which does cause me to talk out the side of my ass from time to time. When I'm not brain dead, I'll talk your ear off about literally anything, occasionally not even stringing together complete sentences.
Yes, that is true.
Sounds like Jim.
Hey, if I can't piss on his grave,
Right?
Look, I told you, I want my body composted so you could grow pot out of me.
and then
Not
Oh,
because I'm that huge of a pothead, but because I want
dude,
people to smoke gym grade pot.
you need to be cremated and then like put into my backyard.
I will still piss on some part of your grave.
Somebody's backyard.
You
I will.
heard
I
it
will.
first. Ganamon wants me to reside in her backyard after I passed.
Mm.
I will
Well,
piss.
no, because I'm in town. They're not
I
gonna
will
let me
piss in
grow
her
pot
back.
here. I'm sorry.
And I will. Then I will go and piss in her backyard. And he'll be like, "What the hell are you doing?" I was like, Jim lives here now."
I can maybe find you somewhere up on the mountain, though.
I just
Yay.
want to make sure I piss on his remains.
Yes, I'm sure.
I'm not looking for pity when I tell my hard luck stories. They are more a launching ground from where I got my ideas.
That is true, and his stories are very interesting. And I know you know, brag on him a lot, but he can actually be very profound and interesting. I just
Mm.
will never actually admit that to his face. Oh shit, he's listening. Jim's in.
When I dissect the Pokemon franchise, it holds some useful lessons for the kiddos.
Like, I,
Ideological organizations that claim to be trying to save the world are often the ones destroying it, intentionally or not.
Well, my kids are absolutely not interested in any of the Pokemon series, so
I thought the
there is that
thing,
going from.
I thought the only thing Pokemon taught me at 6 years old was I had a crush on the officer girl.
Experts in any field are typically eccentrics with little social skill. Criminals will work their way up through different hierarchies to achieve status in polite society.
Wait, did you say eccentrics with little or no social skills? Welcome to the Swine Brothers show.
I don't know, like this isn't even a real episode.
Uh, I just called us eccentrics with no social skills.
It, Finally, if we lived in a world with limitless resources and death was of no consequence, it'd be a place where devastating battles were waged for the entertainment of the masses, and
Oh,
3-year-olds would be granted destructive powers surpassing that of nuclear arsenals at the height of the Cold War on a whim.
do you want a 3-year-old to be in charge of that?
Hey, if death wasn't a consequence, we'd be doing that just to see the crazy shit going on.
Story I want you to read, Jim. It's a
That would be
Lovecraft
terrifying. It would be
Lovecraft
absolutely terrifying.
story that he goes through. So it's not one of the big books. It's called The Mound, and basically, yeah, it was about a race of immortal beings who basically, because they lived for so long, they know do horrible things
No,
to
no,
each other.
I understand.
They get
Just
bored.
saying, if my children, my toddlers, were in charge of that, oh my fucking god,
Jim, I'll
no.
send you the link. But because basically they've been bored so much by time, they basically torture people for fun.
Yes, and can you imagine a toddler that has been bored so much by time?
Mm.
Oh god,
So
Just think
no.
how horrifying, how everything would be destroyed
Oh,
quickly.
I'll send you
that
the.
would be
It,
terrifying.
Lovecraft's ghost written stuff doesn't really get enough love, but a lot of it is very,
Oh,
very good.
no.
As those who claim to have open minds are typically the most closed minded people I've ever met, I'll just say I'm an old school metalhead before everyone cried inclusion and hippie stuff as hollow sentiments they never follow through with.
Hmm.
I've
Metal.
befriended and debated a few literal communists and neo Nazis over the years, and always found it funny when the self proclaimed bigots were more tolerant of others than those who bashed them.
Hmm.
Yes, I always found that funny as well.
Keep in mind, they're still intolerant. It's just, they were just a little bit more tolerant than the people that were supposed to be all for inclusion.
And that's why everyone should be destroyed.
They certainly espouse idiotic ideologies, but a small handful were actually decent people in spite of it. Humans will be human, I guess. And here's a picture of me playing cards with a horse.
Playing cards with a horse.
My weirdest quirk. You can actually bring me around your family, and I can behave like a civilized human being.
I can vouch for that.
I can try, but I can't promise you anything.
I can hold my tongue around kids.
Yep, I can vouch for that too.
If you think this fits my personality, you haven't been paying attention to this profile.
I can give them I give them a watered down version of me, but it's still enough me that maybe they start to think. But as far as bringing me around your family, Jim, I told you about the time my extended family was here, and they let me DJ. And so I was looking for things like Maiden and Sabbath, the more accessible fare that they. But then the song Wehrmacht by the Wehrmacht came on and it starts off the Wehrmacht down, and in my head I went into basically mental convulsions. Started screaming the lyrics, and people now they think I'm demon possessed. So I could try to be kind and stuff, but just never let me DJ.
I also love to listen to metal that gets me lost in thought, deep with introspective themes. Sure, space barbarians running afoul various morality squads is fun.
Oh?
Gwar. But sometimes I like to tear the building blocks of reality and ask myself, what do I really think about this? The otherworldly vocals only push the point further. I can't even read my own damn writing correctly.
Yay, and he's not even drunk.
Oh.
As if even your ears are trained to make it out does require a bit of extra thought to do so, thus driving deeper inside your own psyche.
Well,
or perhaps I'm just a complete snob about this. Either way, it's fun.
And even if they're speaking a different language, the music can speak to you.
Right?
And there's me walking away with the unlit cigarette in my mouth.
Oh, Levitt God shirt.
Yeah. I'm not really a fan of them. I got it once, and that's what I wore for a TV shoot.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that myself. Sorry.
What shirt do you have, Jim?
A Lamb of God T-shirt.
I guess
when I saw him, whenever I saw him at an Ozfest I was at while I was homeless.
I guess the thing about Lamb of God is they're sort of one of the better mainstream metal bands. I don't hate them as much as other people.
I don't like them.
They're okay.
Favorite books: The Damnation Game, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and Lone Wolf Game books.
Oh.
I do think that Burn the Priest was better, though. Yes, he got me to read The Damnation Game, which I quite liked. Hitchhiker's Guide I checked out when I was bored one night.
It's got some real fun shit in it, I thought.
Yeah, I fucking loved it.
I'll have to do a Lone Wolf book with you sometime. It's Choose Your Own Adventure.
I've not heard of any of those books other than The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I've not actually read that one, though.
Damnation Game by Clive Barker. Really good. It's a horror book, though.
No.
The thing is...
Also, RoboCop?
Yes, I like the 1987 RoboCop. I also like The Clockwork Orange and UHF by Weird Al for my movies.
The thing is, Jim, that I didn't want to listen to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy audiobooks for a really stupid reason. My dad liked them, so if your dad likes it, it can't be cool, right?
TV shows: Game of Thrones, Excel Saga, Beavis and Butthead.
I tried Game of Thrones.
It was good for a while. The latest season was ended on okay, this is going too far into other territory. I'll probably watch the last season just to see who all dies.
Was Jello Biafra liked Beavis and Butthead and its spin-off, whatever that was called, because they were the only ones that on MTV of all things showed that kids didn't have to be fucking sheep, that
Yeah.
they could be like actual people.
Oh.
And and plus just the comedy factor of the dumbasses listening to metal and doing stupid things. But
Mm.
so it's just
I sentence you to death by cut off its wiener.
but
Breaking the law.
but Biafra's fun. He, like I said, he said that he thought Beavis and Butthead was the only good thing that MTV ever did. True, because everything else sucked. Headbangers Ball was a joke.
Music: Iron Maiden, Slayer, Gwar, Cannibal Corpse, Morbid Angel, Derketa, Funerus, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Ex-Cops, Gigi Howland, Death, Sepultura, Sodom, Blood, Megadeth.
Yeah, it's hard for me to write. I usually put about 30 bands, and then I'm like, and that's only 30.
Oh.
I just checked, Jim. Would you like to know how big my music collection is? If I
Too big.
started listening to it right now and didn't stop, it would take me 740 days.
That sounds about right.
And of course, I've listened to every band on here because
Food: Chinese, sushi, liver and onions. And here I got
ugh,
a picture of, a little meme going on that says turning death metal on at full blast versus someone who lied about listening to all types of music.
liver and onions, seriously,
No, I had to do that just because I was an ass.
fucking gross, man.
My partner should be a pyromaniac or a mathematician or a streetwalker or a chemical engineer or an insane cultist, or at base minimum being capable of some sort of conversation before stampeding straight for the clitoris.
If someone can actually brainwash me into their cult, then they've done a damn good job. Because you know how damn stubborn I am.
Hmm. Someone capable of comprehending new metal is simply a corporate term meaning alt rock with more distorted guitars and a DJ is definitely a plus.
And someone who
Being
realizes that deathcore is just another branch of emo.
being capable of an occasional debate is as well. There's a picture of me giving the camera a fucked up look.
Ah.
I spend a lot of time thinking about completely obscene things that would probably land me in prison or a mental institution if I spoke them aloud in a public place. And there's me
True.
smoking a cigarette in front of a barn that had one of those male pouch tobacco ads painted on it way back in the day when that was a thing you could do.
I've noticed I've been getting worse and worse at hiding my shit. Like, I don't know. For some reason, I've just been more blatant about, and I need to figure out how to hide this shit again, or just go complete blatant and get locked up in a mental hospital. Welcome to the Swine Brothers show.
On a typical Friday night, I am probably launching mini nukes at point blank range because the shopkeeper wouldn't let me pickpocket them. If I survive
Yes.
that, I might hurl sticks of dynamite at the barkeep for not letting me have for not having enough booze on hand, until the local militia shows up to put a bullet in my head. Then I strip down to my underwear, don a chicken mask, and equip the shovel of truth to crack their skulls open, or dig my own grave, depending upon my remaining hit points.
Well, yeah. I want
That's how
that
you
chicken
game.
mask, motherfucker.
Oh, she left.
Oh well.
She said, "Give me a sec. I'm laughing," but that was an hour ago.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is.
Oh well. I was doing this to get her input so that she could point fun at me, and she was not having that.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's I make fun of you all the time. So
Yeah.
I'll try to get one of my friends who's female on, and she can make fun of you.
She said back later. Okay.
Listening to a band called Razor at the moment. Very good speed thrash metal from the land of Canada.
Cool.
Canada is giving us some good metal. See, that's the thing is, I understand two things in this world: metal and motorsport. All else is a mystery. I can tell you. Well, in history, I like history as well. I need to. I need to get back into history because that's always very interesting. It's just that some people would rather do an analysis book than a narrative book. It's like, no, tell me the story. Well, I can analyze shit myself.
Mm-hmm.
But so
Y'all stink like shit. Mm-hmm.
I read that. I wrote that.
Yes.
I also love what your spooky specter liked my comment that on your thing that you ripped off from me when I was having some problems last night. And he liked a genius wrote that, not realizing that I was calling myself a genius just to piss you off.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am a genius.
That's what makes it fun.
Yes, people not really. Oh, you think Jim's a genius? No, he hasn't. See, I said last night he has an IQ of 17.2, not 172.
Yes.
Or it could be 1.72, which is even worse. You have an IQ
That's
of
probably closer to it, yes.
you have an IQ of 2 if you round up.
It is the Beavis and Butthead show starring Jim.
Who would you be on that show?
I would be Beavis.
I would be
Because
Butthead,
fire. Fire. Fire.
Eric would be the glam guy.
Yeah, he'd be Stuart.
And yeah.
So much fun.
He even admits it himself, actually. That was the funny thing. We had this conversation a couple of months ago. Because this is what we talk about late at night. That and horror movies.
Yay.
What I want to do for a first date. Have you watched that necrophagia video that Jimmy, you remember the necrophagia video?
Yeah, that was good.
I thought you'd like it. Because I was talking to this guy, he's like, yeah, he sent me this video, and I was like, some of the stuff even freaked me out, and I love horror. I was like, if it freaked you out, what's it gonna do to Jim?
Yay, it's gonna make Jim happy.
So I had to show you that.
Mm-hmm.
I have it downloaded. So yes,
I'm just going on until she gets back.
Downloaded. Let's see, yeah.
So that was a nice picture of me in front of the thing.
Yes, you in front of the thing.
A bunch of video games. We're going to languish here until she does get back. She said she'll be back later. This will be fun.
Hopefully.
Yes.
So. Commas.
A Holocaust in my head.
What?
A Holocaust in my head with discharge, burning flag, anthrax, civilized society, anti-system, DSA.
The sub stamp. That's true, because you said a Holocaust in my and that's an extreme noise terror, a Holocaust in your head. So it's like, what? How the fuck do you know what that is?
When is later, not now.
Burning flags, by the way, check them out. My friend promotes shit. I just added you to random groups.
Yeah. I have noticed that.
Well, I thought the sub stamp. I mean, yeah, they're a little bit
That
liberal.
fits me.
Well, yeah, the sub stamp. I thought because it's a bunch of old guys who talk about tape trading. Yeah, they're a little bit on the left, but I thought, yeah, but you know.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't care.
These are the people I talk to. People who were there in like the '80s talking about Oh yeah, remember I saw Carcass in '86. I'm like, fuck. You saw Cannibal.
Yes, I did.
I saw Cannibal. Although I didn't meet Cannibal, I saw Cannibal. They were talking about how great Slayer was. I was like, fuck yeah.
Oh well, we'll wrap this up. She's not coming back.
Right, and I have to do some things.
Anyways, one last thing. Elderly couple accidentally burns house down during sex game involving World War II flamethrower.
Yes.
Firefighters were called on the site around 11:15 this morning after receiving an unusual phone call, but could do nothing to save the 45-year-old house from being a total loss. Nancy Brown, the 911 operator who answered the call from 96-year-old Maurice Forgedy, said she first thought she was dealing with pranksters when he told her he had torched a house with napalm while having sex with his wife.
This is Jim's idea of a
First date.
Yeah.
He told me he was penetrating his wife with his M1 as usual, but got too excited and activated the flamethrower. Miss Brown says the explanation shocked her for a moment, and it took her almost a minute to realize it was actually true. He kept repeating that everything was burning and I could hear his wife screaming behind him, but I still couldn't believe this could be real. Mr. Fogarty and his wife were transported to the hospital to be treated for the psychological shock caused by the event, but are otherwise uninjured. They shouldn't face any criminal charges, but may have problems when it comes to claiming their insurance policies, as damage caused by the use of weapons during sex games is rarely covered.
That's my kind of insurance.
A case involving a Gatling gun in 2004 and another involving a rocket launcher in 2011 have made their way to court, and in both cases, the insurance company didn't have to pay anything to the claimants. There is precedent to that.
Fucking a machine gun.
Yeah. That makes life fun.
That does make life fun. Yes. So, you learned all about Jim's romantic life.
Oh, that was fun. Let's get going.
If you're like me and you find it pathetic, leave a comment. If you don't find it pathetic, also leave a comment. So yeah, that was fun.
Yes, it was.
All right. Are we done here?
We are done.
All right. We'll see you later. Hopefully, we'll be back with the real show when I'm more awake and things
happen.
All right. I'm gonna go nuke the world.